Hi there, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the last video in the restoration of this Loewe Opta Truxa 3731W. I must admit this cabinet restoration part took longer than I expected because it was in pretty bad shape and I had to do quite a bit of camouflaging to get it sorted. But in this video, and it's really just a wrap-up video, I'm going to show you how I put the cabinet together, complete it, put it in. Finally, I'll do a reception test at the end, and then this project is a wrap. So if you want to see what the result is, stick around, enjoy the video. Well, that took long enough, but she's done. And she's actually looking pretty good. It always amazes me when you see it like this and you compare it to what it was initially. But yeah, big difference. And initially what I had to do was obviously start removing everything, literally everything from the cabinet, and giving it a good wash. You know, warm water, a bit of dish soap or whatever it is, and try and get it washed down so that you can get all the cobwebs and the dust and the fluff and everything else out of there. And then I try to get the old lacquer out of there. And this one was quite tough. This thing was pretty tough. I had to use the heat gun and scrape it off. I found that that seems to work the best. But when you get it to this stage, you really see all the defects. And it's always a little bit intimidating when you see so many defects that you're going to have to sort out. But once you start sanding it really into the veneer, you start getting rid of some of the superficial damage, and it starts giving you a bit of hope. Sometimes not much, but this one started looking good. A lot of the stains and everything else were gone. And then, of course, once you've got it looking good, you start making it look bad again by putting in the filler. Quite abundantly, there were quite a few places that needed work, and I always worry that it's going to stick out at the end, but it didn't. And this is where I stopped recording because this thing was giving me a hell of a lot of work, and you see the result here. The result here was, you know, sanding everything down, putting in some walnut stain, and the reason I use walnut is because there were quite a few sort of different colorations on the cabinet. And walnut being darker does give you a chance to sort of hide some of that. I know it's cheating, but hey, that's what you have to do sometimes. And you can still see some parts that look a little bit different. And I can't say that this is, by no means is this a piano finish, but it takes a lot of, or many coats after you've done the stain of lacquer to get it to this point. And I'm pretty happy with it. It's looking good. Of course, this whole thing was sanded, or rather polished, to get the old brass color off. And then I normally give it a coat of clear lacquer, just to make sure it doesn't stain again. The logo, same story. I polished it down and then give it some clear lacquer. These things were fine. These things were pretty good, actually. And then this part here, I washed it many times. There were a few stains on here that couldn't come off. I used a little paintbrush with properly matched paint to get rid of a dark stain on here. You can still see sort of a darkened halo around here where the speaker cabinet or the speaker hole is, but that's all I could do. I didn't want to go to the extreme of replacing this. You can get it. I believe there's actually a lady in Holland that makes them to order, but I haven't used her services yet. The back also needs some attention. All these parts here. Actually, I almost forgot. This thing had to be restuck on because the panel was loose. So that was stuck with wood glue, and there was a little bit here that I had to raise because it was chipped away. And then I paint this whole thing with the black paint. So it's looking pretty smart. It is looking pretty smart. Things like the old tape get removed and you put some new tape on there. This is that the cloth plaster type tape that goes on there, and it looks neat. I have not redone the electrostatic tweeters. They normally have a foam problem. I tested this. They seem to be okay, and my success rate has not been bad, but I didn't want to risk it. And here we go. We've got the speaker back on, and this is one hell of a speaker. It's beautiful. Perfect condition, just a bit of cleanup at the back. Screwed it on or bolted it on to the back there. Then, of course, I soldered it on here. I made sure I got the right wires in. I had marked this one in black, so I knew which one was which. This is not that important. in terms of polarity, but this one will be. This has got to be done right, because with the electrostatic tweeters, one side is ground and the other one is the high voltage. So when I put this in the cabinet, obviously this has been soldered to that point, which is where it was before. But when I put this into the cabinet, I've got to make sure that I wire the two correctly. Okay, we're making progress. And here she is, folks. I've put it all together. I needed to get this done. And it really can be quite boring to repeat everything again and again. You've seen me do this millions of times, or at least dozens of times. But she's looking really good. Looking really, really good. That is one really hefty speaker over there. Everything's been wired up properly there as it should. All the brass is polished over here. So generally, a very, very good result. Now, I must admit, I don't manage to get the piano finish that someone like Dave gets, but I just don't have the skill or the patience to go that far. But let me show you a bit of a close-up of the result. And if you remember the first video, you'll see that, yeah, it worked out very well. The brass came out well. There were a few little dents on that rim, as there were, well, actually, it was completely bent initially, but everything else came out very, very well. Grill cloth, we can see that halo over there, but it's pretty much looking like it's been used, but not damaged. As for the woodwork, pretty satisfactory result. Again, not 100% perfect. The main difference is the inside. You can see everything turned out very, very well. And now all I need to do is put the back plate on, the back cover on, and give it a test, which I'll do tonight when reception is better on AM. And here it is. The back cover was in pretty good condition, just a little bit of cleaning and some shoe polish, and it's looking pretty good. All right, it is now testing time.
از طرف همه ملت صدمین سالروز تولدتان را صمیمانه تبریک میگویند. Achinei. Deoarece aceasta presupune și tot mai multe șanse pentru noi. Stimați ascultători, aici punem punct ediției de astăzi, rubrica Societatea și... Such as Instagram and TikTok, historical archives have been posted and reposted by influencers. Navštěvuji luxusní restaurace v hotelech proslulých portugalskou kuchyní. Je trouve que les deux... Organisation. Parce que actuellement, il y a 3 pays africains qui font partie des BRICS, l'Afrique du Sud, l'Éthiopie et l'Égypte.
باشه میتواند خطر ابتلا به آلزایمر را کاهش دهد.
وقت المضى وأن النساء الصحراويات مستعدات بكامل قواهم وكامل يعني
El Betis trata de presionar sector rival, el que va a jugar en defensa con uno de sus... Sigue, sí que envía largo.
Al final se viene por línea de fondo, saque de puerta. Mira, mira, la Real no quiere perder ni un solo segundo.
Bueno, el otro día escuché... Sigo mordiéndose las uñas pensando en que es posible la remontada y... Tiro de 3 del Betis.
Pues mira, no me da tiempo a calcular.
Y circular, es un pasatiempo tremendo con lo que se está jugando de aquí.
على النتيجة سير بلاص يعني تبقى تقلب على النتيجة اللي غادي تبين بأنك أنت هو اللي على
qui est rentré, peut-être que vous allez nous confirmer le nom du joueur de l'USM Alger. C'est Mahrouz. Mahrouz qui est rentré. Oui.
Em muitas direções, LTJ Buckham, que ouvimos ainda, militava no lado mais atmosférico, não só na música que fazia e assinava em nome próprio, mas também na que editava na sua Good Looking Records. Ouvimos agora Mood Swings, é o próprio LTJ Buckham, precisamente há 30 anos na Good Looking Records. Hoje muitos mundos concentrou-se numa parcela de espaço-tempo específica, 1997.
E variedade, com os preços...
Ficamos com See You on Monday porque é
So after all the testing that I've done, this is what I concluded. Just before I go any further, let me tell you that we're sitting in the middle of some really strange weather. So on the AM bands, especially long wave and medium wave, there's an incredible amount of noise. At first, I tested again inside in the workshop here to check that nothing was creating undue noise, or at least not more than usual. And no, it wasn't. So this was definitely atmospheric noise we were getting. There was a lot of noise on the AM bands, but the reception itself is actually pretty good, especially on shortwave. I was picking stuff up last night that I'm not saying that I've never picked up before, but it was unusually sensitive. Again, problem with this particular radio for shortwave is that the band extends from, about 4 megahertz all the way to 19 megahertz or 18 megahertz. So when you're trying to tune, it's very, very sensitive. It's very difficult. You do get there, but it's very difficult to find a proper station. So you have to be very, very meticulous or touchy with the control, with the tuning knob. So yeah, that's the usual problem with these radios. Very long AM band with no fine tuning, with no KW looper, as they call it sometimes, where you get a particular small band that you can fine tune across. So having said that, yes, it is sensitive on AM. Now on FM, I'm a little disappointed, I must admit. The boominess that I've tried to get rid of, I haven't been able to do. I tried to broaden the curve, the IF band curve, try and get some of the higher frequencies. I don't believe that's the problem. I think there might be something inherent to the actual front end that's giving it that characteristic. It is fine. It's picking up fine. It's just that it sounds a little bit boomy to me, and you have to put your bass all the way down. So I really don't know what could be causing that. The other problem could well be the type of IF transformer they've used, which might not give it that the span that this thing needs. But anyway, it's actually completely different to what it was when we started. It's looking good. It looks very good, actually. It looks very, very good. But as I said, it's not one of my favorites so far. So yeah, sometimes that happens. The Magic Eye there is amazing. It's a brand new one, a Russian replacement to the original one here. I've got a couple more. I'm going to have to order some more soon because the originals are just so damn expensive. They're way out there. So that's where I'm going to leave you. This is the end of this project. I'm glad to say that it turned out a hell of a lot better than I expected. And I'm itching to start my other projects. I've got some huge boxes that arrived from Germany, more radios that I bought on the auction site. So there's definitely enough stuff to carry on with. I do hope you've enjoyed this series. And if you have, click like, share, subscribe, and all that jazz. And if you want to support the channel, do so on Patreon and PayPal. Links are in the description below. So once again, thanks for watching. Bye for now. And most of all, stay sane.